Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome back to the Fair Income Podcast. Today we had Sister Mariam El Houli as our guest. It was an absolutely amazing conversation. Actually, the conversation was surrounded around a clip that went viral on social media. We're going to post it right here.
I want to tell you something about Muslim men or Arab men or ethnic men, let's say. I don't know if you agree or not.
Be gentle.
I'm going to tell you the truth. Every single person wants a strong, independent woman, but not his wife. And that's the truth.
Now we're back. So we spoke about gender roles, we also spoke about, like the importance of holding tight to your Islamic values while being, while doing business. Beyond that as well, we spoke about, shortfalls in the community and places we can improve, and also like work-life balance, if that exists, if it doesn't exist, like how can we get to it, and much more. Actually, very beneficial podcast for anybody who knows what Sister Mariam is about. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Men can't see or can't appreciate that women make more money than them. That's one. And in referring to, men want independent, strong women, but they don't want them to, go work in any profession. Is in our communities, 99% of, if I want to talk about Muslims, Muslim women want their wives and partners to see a female practitioner, right? Doesn't matter what field she is in. Okay, we've attained that part. But then they don't allow their wives, that's a nurse, that's a doctor, that's whatever profession, psychologist, to go work in that field so she can be benefit to the other Muslim ladies. Like, that's just hypocritical.
Fair Income.
This video, this podcast, has been brought to you by Miss Cookie. Miss Cookie, it's in the name. They sell cookies. And not only are we going to taste test these cookies, but we're going to give you our honest opinion, inshallah. Currently in front of us, we have the Nutella choc chip.
With this packaged like this, wonderfully.
Alphabetic.
And mashallah, it actually looks very nice.
Look at the branding as well. Honestly guys, go give these guys a follow, because I know this is crazy, but I've already had 2 cookies
Already?
before this.
Okay.
Don't worry
see
about
you.
it, cause I just take a nice little chunk out of this one. This is also bueno, so I'm gonna try bueno.
By the way, we actually microwaved it as well, so. Bismillah. Oh wow, that's actually nice, wallah.
Bro, I don't know why I'm acting surprised. I already knew this slap.
Only it slapped for the first time. Has all the textures, the Nutella, and the biscuit. Like even in the microwave is nice.
Wow. Guys, after I'm not comfortable you guys watching me eat, but I think you understand how we feel about this cookie. Go, if you're in Melbourne, make sure that you get yourself a nice box of these. My recommendation is definitely the bueno,
And the
Nutella choc chip, and also white chocolate pistachio. He didn't get to try it because I already ate it. Don't forget guys, go follow them, go share them. Don't forget to make sure you support your local Muslim businesses. Assalamu alaikum. I feel like the best topic to start on will be on the clip.
Oh, okay.
I feel like if we start from here,
Yeah.
I think it'll be the best thing, because people who are watching this right now might have come directly from the Safi Brothers podcast. Let's speak about the clip a little bit. Number one, let's speak about the situation, the question that was asked.
I want to tell you something about Muslim men or Arab men or ethnic men, let's say. I don't know if you agree or not.
Be gentle.
I'm going to tell you the truth. Every single person wants a strong, independent woman, but not his wife. And that's the truth. You want the female doctors, you want the female nurses, you want the entrepreneurs, you want the Muslim leaders. You support 110%, but not your wife or your sister or your mother. You don't want that for them. Let someone else do the job.
So I think your words "all" is a bit harsh, because to be honest, our sister, mashallah, is a very high flyer.
Okay, I'm going to say 99%. I'm going to leave
because we've been very. There's no doubt about it. There's an element of truth. There is, 100. But
I'm talking about men that, in general, and as I've done mentoring and business coaching, the men, and they don't have to be Lebanese, they can be Turkish, Italian, Greek, the ethnic men in general.
No doubt, I think in our community, your wife earning more than you
is a big problem in their mindset. It is.
And let's actually put the context into it. So I'll let you speak your piece, inshallah.
SubhanAllah, I think I don't anticipate firstly that it was going to go that or people had that much of an interest in what I said, because I'm not God's word at the end of the day. So the context of it was I was asked, you know, we started off the conversation was, you know, does your husband support all your work? And I said, no, he doesn't, because I'm being truthful and honest. And the context was, what I meant to say was, sorry, I'm going to start again. So the context of what I was trying to say to people is, life happens to you as a woman, right? We have in our society or in our communities in general, men can't see or can't appreciate that women make more money than them. That's one. And in referring to, you know, men want independent, strong women, but they don't want them to, you know, go work in any profession is, in our communities, 99% of, if I want to talk about Muslims, Muslim women want their wives and partners to see a female practitioner, right? Doesn't matter what field she is in. Okay, we've attained that part. But then they don't allow their wives, that's a nurse, that's a doctor, that's whatever profession, psychologist, to go work in that field so she can be benefit to the other Muslim ladies. Like, that's just hypocritical. And I'm not talking about, because some people, you know, started to backlash and say, but she might have kids, she might have a situation. I'm talking in general here. I'm not saying that, you know, she has a little newborn at home, go leave him and go work. No. That's what I was trying to say, that, you know, if you want the Muslim practitioner, the female practitioner, then you have to also understand that if all of us don't contribute somehow, we're not going to have that service available.
It's true. Wallah, it's true. It's just, it's actually just fact, matter of fact, that if there's no women actually fulfilling that need is khalas. It's just going to diminish.
Where do we get them from? Because, you know, in Islam, we should go to a Muslim female and then Muslim that's not, a female, then that's not Muslim, and then a male Muslim, and then there's a criteria, but no one seems to understand or recognize that we have a criteria if we're talking about religion here. And then the other point in the conversation that I was making is, things happen in life. Your husband as a woman may pass away. You may get a divorce. You know, he might, la samahla, go be missing. What if you have no education, if you have not even money or anything to stand behind you, what do you do if you've got half a dozen kids?
That's true.
What do you do?
This is actually a topic that I wanted to touch on as well. It was just specifically centered around, you know, how do widows function, or women who are because divorce happens, yeah?
Absolutely.
It happens. It's the truth. It's just a matter of fact, subhanAllah. Like, how do they navigate things if they no longer have, or if they're having difficulty with who's supposed to be the protector or the provider in that situation? Do you know what I mean?
They don't have. And I shared a story, I think on my stories, I didn't share it in the podcast, but I'll say it here, from my own mother. My father, Allah yarhamu, passed away. We're 10, 9 girls and a boy. 6 or 7 out of the 10 were technically 8 so under the age of 15. The youngest was 5, actually. So do you think someone knocked on my mother's door and said, there's $5, take it, pay your rent, get food for your kids, get whatever help you need? No. Islamically, is that the right thing to do? Is that how we're supposed to treat a widower with kids? No. So had my mum not had a qualification that she could use and then learn how to go back into the workforce, the kids would have been in the street. Now, people are going to argue, oh, in this country we have Centrelink. We absolutely do. But she was in her 40s. She doesn't qualify for an age pension. Google search will tell you what I'm saying is true. If you're under 65, you are not qualified to get a payment from Centrelink. And if you have a child that's over 6, you need to go be looking for work. It's not automatic payments. So can you imagine, this is the reality. It's amazing to say textbooks and be poetic and you know, try and say, you know, things that should be done. Okay, but this is the reality. Welcome to the world.
Yep.
No one helps you when you need help. Illa man rahima rabbi, very little.
Yep.
And yeah, so this is why I'm really pro women. Get that degree, have that course done, whatever it's going to be. Put it in your closet for a rainy day.
Yep. Tie your camel.
Absolutely. Tawakkal ya Allah and tie your camel.
That's the truth. Wallahi. It's you know, the one thing that kind of crosses my mind when I think about that, I'm just looking at it and I'm like, okay, yeah, Centrelink payments, yeah, like no worries, they're very bare minimum, yeah. Like I don't think people don't understand that, especially if you're trying to raise a certain amount of children. Like you're not going to be able to give them a quality of life that they're going to be like content with. Like as a child growing up, like they're going to see things from others and so on and so forth. And a lot of the times, people from lower socioeconomic backgrounds will end up falling into the wrong crowds because of that sort of stuff. So people have to understand there's like a repercussion to that. Like choosing to go down that path of going, yeah, you know what, I'll just rely on the world to give me what I need. And yeah, subhanAllah, I think people just need to, like we said, step out of the idea that we're living in an idealistic world and step into reality and kind of think about things practically rather than from a best case scenario kind of thought.
I'm saying, Yani, it's good to be keyboard warriors and attack every opinion that you don't agree with. That's amazing. Everyone can do that, from burner accounts that have no face. That's really, really nice. But wallahi, welcome to the real world. That's in a widow's case. Let's go to the ladies that are divorced.
Yep.
And again, everything I say or everything anyone says, please take with a grain of salt. Don't worship people's words or what they say. This is from my own perspective and what I've seen in our community. So the majority of women that get divorced, once the divorce is over, that ex-husband of hers will not give her $5 towards her or her kids anymore. Okay, we understand he's divorced, there's nothing to do with her, but the kids that you had, it's suddenly not his responsibility. And I'm not going to say every single man, so I don't, start getting, and of course it's not every single man.
Yeah.
But this is the majority, come in. This is what happens.
Yeah.
And I tell people, men are not Umar ibn al-Khattab and Khalid ibn al-Walid. So don't expect the women to be Aisha radiallahu anha and Khadija. We don't live in those times anymore.
Wallah, you hit the nail on the head.
It's common sense.
Wallah, you hit the nail on the head. There's like this phenomenon where it's like women have to step into their masculine state because men aren't in theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And wallah, I think the one thing that I wanted to ask you about was, why do you think that is? Like, why do you think that? Like, for example, a man would kind of look at a woman who's professionally, like, successful as, like, some sort of a negative thing. Like, something that, like, for example, a woman who's overqualified for marriage, like, as in, like, they'll look at her and they'll go, oh, yeah, so she's a doctor, oh, she's a dentist, oh, she's this, oh, she's that. Like, they kind of look at that and they'll go, maybe she's not the one for me because of how well she's done with her professional life.
I think people mix professional life with home life. If you're a normal human being, you don't mix your professional, whatever your professional title is, with, you wear different hats. What you are in your profession has nothing to do what you are when you come home. You shouldn't, anyway. Like, I get a lot of comments saying, oh, but you're supposed to be more feminine when you're at work. And I say, subhanAllah, so what do you mean? You're supposed to be, if they attack you with the Islamic religion that they've got no idea about. No, Bilakis, you're supposed to, when you're outside working, you're supposed to have firm boundaries, as a woman especially. You're not supposed to be, we say may'a in Arabic and extra feminine. No, you're not. You're supposed to be firm. You're supposed to be taken seriously. You're supposed to be able to, do your profession to the best of your abilities. And then when you're home, you're supposed to become a normal woman. A mum, a wife, a daughter, a sister. That's a completely different role that you're supposed to be taking. People are mixing them. So they want to go home and become that professional, the authoritarian. And then when they're out, they want to become the feminine role they are. No. And why men, to answer your question, are fearful, it's an ego thing, in our communities at least. Maybe that man hasn't achieved his own dreams, and instead of, saying, wallahi, mashallah, well done to that sister or his wife or whoever it is for achieving her dreams, let me hold her hand and be behind her and while I achieve mine. No, it seems that we can't clap for someone else. We need to tear them down, which makes us feel better.
Yeah. There's I say this a lot on podcasts, but there's something called tall poppy syndrome.
Yes.
So basically everybody looks around and they don't say, you know what, that's inspiring me to kind of get to new heights. It's saying, how can I cut you down to where I am so I feel better about where I am now, instead of changing my own situation. And subhanAllah, this is what I'm starting to notice. It's not just a Muslim thing, Muslim community thing. No. It's any community in general. Like, I don't know, because as human beings, we're speaking about it before after podcast. It's like vices that we all have. One of those vices is in envy and jealousy, and when it rears its ugly head, like subhanallah, it's a terrible thing to see. It makes people do some crazy stuff. So like, for example, we're speaking about how the way things can be on the flip side, a blessing and a curse. So we used to see that the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his Sahaba used to always compete, and they used to be jealous. Like Umar used to be jealous of how good Abu Bakr was with his deen. Like that's a good envy, that's a good jealousy. You know what I mean? Like in comparison to us now, it's like, like this guy got this car and this guy's got that house and so on and so forth. So we've kind of put ourselves away from the examples that were set for us in the past. So like, how do we get back to where we want to be, inshallah?
And not only that, I think everyone thinks if they, I see this a lot, if people that have started, let's say they've never prayed in their life and they've started to pray, suddenly, they think that they're going to the Firdaus al-A'la and everyone around them now should be cursed and everyone around them should be belittled, and suddenly they're better than everyone. You prayed yesterday, mate. SubhanAllah, yesterday you got on your prayer mat. Just because someone is having trouble in that part of their deen or that whatever problem they have doesn't mean you're better than them. Don't take your because in the Amal bil Khawatim, yeah, don't take pride in everything you do and think that you're better than anyone else. Because Allahu A'lam, what can happen to you? That being good for that section of your life, maybe it's your test. Everyone's going through battles no one knows about. And like we just said before, off the podcast, that what you're struggling with may be completely different to what I'm struggling with. And we only show people our facade or our mask that we want to show them. But Allahu A'lam what's going on in the background, yeah?
Definitely. There was actually a really good saying that I heard someone who I consider a mentor told me. He goes, if everybody was in the same room, so everybody on earth, and everybody threw their problems in the air, you'd reach for your own and catch them.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala handpicked your issues for you.
Oh, it's cut for you.
Yeah.
It's cut for you because Allah doesn't burden a soul with more than it can handle. And when I share like what I've been through, what I've done, people say, "Oh, but that's it's not because it's fascinating or anything. It's because Allah knows this is exactly the amount that I can handle. And maybe if I see someone else's problem, I can't handle it. So no one's given more than what they can handle. It's not something to be proud of. It's just that's a fact of life.
It's just everything is tailor made to the person. So for me, I wanted to ask. I'm gonna just come to your professional life. Like, what lit the fire underneath you that made you want to go down that path or that route?
I've always, since I was probably 17, 18, been doing some type of work. It's just, it wasn't known because, it wasn't on social media and we didn't share. Social media now seems to have, amplified people or made them overnight success stories. No one's an overnight success story. I'm not on a success story by any chance or means. I think people view me in that eye, which I'm, thank you and kind of them, but it's not. But I always wanted to, again, after I saw what my mum went through after living in, low socioeconomic background with my father's, illness and he didn't really work. I just didn't want that life. There's no secret to it that, that something happened that changed. From a young age, I just knew this is the real world. You get as much as you work, the hard work you put in, what you're going to get out. That's basically it. That's a simple version.
Well, that's the truth. SubhanAllah, like there's tawakkul and there's tawakkul, yeah? So there's like, you have to put in the means, you have to put in the effort. So for us, we know that the result is on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but actually putting in the means to get to the place where you want to go, khalas, that's on us. So that's where we go, okay, what can I do within my means or my capacity for me to be able to get to a place where I want to be? And if I don't get there, how do I feel? I'm pretty sure that you've gone through a number of, because everyone says you don't get successful off the first try, How did you deal with failure in whatever capacity you felt it?
I just learned to try to see where the lesson is in it. I learned very, very early on, even as a teen and as a child, if you sit and sob and, play the victim card, you're not going to get anywhere. No one feels sorry for anyone. And I think people think that, my words are harsh, but wallahi, this is the truth. You need to get off your backside and learn the lesson, whatever it is. Inshallah, it's money. Sometimes it's in our, sometimes, the test is in our deen. Sometimes the test is in the money. Sometimes it's in our health. Whatever your test is, try and analyze from an outside view. Put your problem in front of you, take yourself out of it and think rationally. Okay, all of this happened to me. Where did I go wrong? What can I have done better next time? Where's the lesson in it? And move on.
Yep.
Yani, I think even in Islam, the hizn is 3 days. And there's a reason why it's 3 days. You have 3 days to bawl your eyes out. You have 3 days to feel whatever you want to feel. But then you have to pick up yourself and keep going. And then we're talking about death and about... But I think I apply that to everything in life. You have 3 days to do whatever you want. On the 3rd day, wipe your tears, get up, learn the lesson and move on. Does it mean you're not sad or it doesn't affect you? No.
Definitely. So this is the beauty of it is like, our best example, the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Like whenever we see his story, we understand that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala said, he's my greatest creation. Not my greatest human being or the greatest, person that I've created. This is the greatest creation I've ever created. And Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala put him on an earth where he was mistreated. He put him on an earth where he went through trials and tribulations. He buried all of his kids except one, Fatima, radiallahu anha. And you see he lost his loved ones on a consistent basis, and he was exiled, and he was attacked, and he was abused, and he was made fun of and rumored against, and all these sorts of things. And you kind of sit there and you go, hang on a second. If we're talking about the pinnacle of existence, the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and then we go, he's there and no one will ever reach that. How are we looking at how are we looking at what he went through and then going to ourselves, that means just because I'm a good Muslim, because I started praying, or because I deserve to have A, B and C, or I deserve to be in ease,
We're, as we said, we're delusional. Wallahi, we're delusional. We think that we've reached the top of everything. You can never reach the top of anything. Even the Rasul said, Ana rahmat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he's the best creation on earth. I've done everything that I can, but then I'm inshallah going to Jannah with the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If that's the Prophet that can do no wrong, then what do we have the chance? And now we've become the judge, the jury, the prosecutor about everyone else. No one points their finger at themselves anymore. All we do now is sit and judge the person opposite to us. This person's going to Jannah, this person's going to heaven, this person's bad, this person's good. We just sit there and give out judgments. But based on what? Based on the 1 minute video that you've seen online, or a 30 seconds story that you saw of someone, suddenly you've got a PhD in their lives? No one knows anything. And I always say, either you say good or keep quiet. And why do you hammer yourself more sins on top of the sins that we already have? Wallahi, we've got enough sins to carry. Why do I need to make a crappy comment about someone else that I don't even know the full context of anything?
Yeah. I think it's too easy now to do it. So what happens is you don't see, there's not a tangible repercussion to your action.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, I tried to think about this because obviously we've been online for 4 years now, or whatever it is, doing this podcast, alhamdulillah. And a lot of the times I look at a comment and I'm like, bro, how did you find the will? Because I've never done it myself. I've never written a hate comment in my life. I'm just even when I see things from a certain portion of the world right now, what's going on, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for our brothers and sisters in Palestine. But I don't even find the will in me to kind of type that. And I feel like what happens is now, and I genuinely believe that everybody should have an IQ test before they can have that comment button given to them. But wallahi, I just sit there and I go, I don't even know who you are, but if I saw you in real life, would I feel sorry for you, or would I be like, well, you know what, your opinion is actually very valid, I should really take on board what you're saying. But sometimes it's good to reflect on what they're saying and see if there's an element of truth to it, even though they may be completely out of line. You know what I mean? If there isn't an element of truth to it, then there's always the trash can. You can always throw that in a bin. But I wanted to ask, how do you deal with that? Obviously, your presence online is starting to get more and more as time goes on. obviously you're doing the online coaching stuff, and then you're also doing all of the, you know, the general media and the courses and stuff like that. Like, how do you deal with those negative comments?
Well, like, to be honest, I really do get negative comments because I stick to myself. I'm very conscious that, you know, we've got a community. And let me rephrase that and tell you something, a backstory. This is my own opinion. This is what I believe. We are not truly free to do whatever we want. This freedom thing that people says, "Well, I'm free to say what I want. I'm free to do what I want." I don't believe that. Everything in the world, everything in life, you are guided by, you are boxed in it. So I am very consciously aware that I'm a Muslim. One, I'm very consciously aware that I'm a Muslim woman. I'm consciously aware that I'm a mother, and my boys are sort of men. And as their mother, anything I do and share it to the public is going to affect them and affect my girls. That's the truth. That's something I cannot say, but ana astaghfir, ana harr, I can do whatever. No. We are weak. As much as you want to preach that you're free, you're not free. There are other things in the background, you always in the back of your head, you need to be conscious of. So, and I'll get to your question in a bit to answer it. But see, after I told you no one's free. So let's agree that we are not free to the extent that we think we are. I've got family, I've got sisters, I've got a brother, you know, I've got brother-in-laws. I've got a bigger, smaller community that's in my head.
Yeah.
And to give you just a small, to get you what I'm trying to say. So I have a lot of friends now in the business world or anything, and we actually went to dinner, was it yesterday or the day before? And we were having a group ladies photo. Now we were in a restaurant, and the restaurant has a bar at the back. Now one of my friends, they know because I've already told them this. I don't share photos deliberately that has any form of alcohol behind me or next to me or on the side. One, because that's haram. Number two, because that's part of our, you know, culture and community. Yeah. Now people are going to say it's even haram to sit in that's not my argument, but it's there. I go. Does it make it halal? I'm not saying it is, but this is what I did. So my friend actually said, no, we can't take the photo from the side that has that's showing alcohol because Mariam can't share that. So we took a photo from the seat side. So they understand that, and I understand that this is, since I'm going to share it, I might as well take into consideration, you know, my community, my culture, my deen, my whatever it is. Because doing something in private is one thing, and then sharing it, you know, بجهر في المعصية, if we're going to say, is another completely thing. So that's just giving you one little example. I'm very conscious of that. Hello, I'm not saying halal haram here, but I'm just saying you have to be conscious of your actions, right? So in general, I try and be very conscious of what I share, what I do. Hence why I don't think I get a lot of hate. But even when I do, like with the Safi Brothers podcast that came out, I reply as much as I can with reason. And as you said, some things have an element of truth, and I reply, you're absolutely right. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all. And if it's something that's just has no basis or no thing, and I reply like, what benefit did you have in saying that? Did you make dua for me? Did you say it in a nice way where I can think and take your opinion on board? No. So if it's not creative, constructive criticism, trash can. You just put more sins on yourself. And you know what really gets to me? And usually these are the men. If you're a man and if you stand behind your word, why are you messaging from a burner account? Where's your face? Let me respect you and say, Wallahi, he has a point. He's a valid man. Why are you hiding behind your, your laptop? If you're really a man, you do it from your own account.
It's true.
Stand behind your words. Don't be a jaban. Don't be a coward. You have no risk, even if what you're saying is right, but you're a coward.
You can't even show your face.
You can't show your face.
Wallahi, you're right.
So stand up to what you're saying. Show me your face. Normal account. Wallahi ala ayni wa rasi. I respect 110%. Even if you're wrong, I respect you for even having the guts to say it. But 99% of the hate comments are from burner accounts.
You know what makes me laugh the most? Like when somebody speaks on a topic like that, and it's their opinion. When somebody speaks, they're not speaking directly to you. Yani they're speaking to a type of person. And you're speaking about a particular kind of person. If you feel hurt by that in any way, that might mean that applies to you. Which is like, if we're a society that should be reflecting I'm talking about the Muslim community in general. I'm not talking about the whole ethnic men, because a lot of people don't have that quality of reflection. But like, for example, I'm a Muslim man. I didn't watch that and go, I feel attacked, I need to go. Do you know what I mean? Like, it didn't cross my mind, because I said to myself, hang on, that doesn't apply to me. So if what you're saying is striking a chord, then maybe people need to be doing some reflection.
Absolutely. Like, and there's not one comment. You know the funny thing? One comment said to me, get lost and go lose some weight. Well, he has a point. I said to him, brother, you know what? Do you have any tips for me? This is something we need to do. Not one comment did I feel hurt about, because everything I took, what he's saying is true. Give me some tips. The other person, you know, whatever comment it was that was hateful, like, things affect you only when you put weight to them. Who is saying that to you? Mm-hmm. And if someone swore at you in another language, do you understand what they're saying? You wouldn't care.
Exactly.
Because you don't understand what they're saying.
Exactly.
And same with this. I look at it, okay, the comment is from a burner account that's gone 1 point down for you. Who's saying it? Is he a scholar that's giving me?
Yep.
No, 1 point down. Like, I actually assess it in my brain. At the end of it, like, there's no point.
Yeah.
Unless it's constructive, unless he's making dua for me, unless he's trying to teach me. Some of them I didn't agree with, but they've got a point coming.
See, but that's a quality that everyone needs to hold. Like the fact that you have to look at things from the perspective of remove the person. Yeah. What's Allah talking about here? Yeah. So like, that's one thing that I learned also from another mentor that I have. He's like, you have to look at the situation like this. This person was written to come into your life and to say A, B, and C. يعني, say he doesn't say anything that's of value. Okay? Well, what's Allah trying to test you with, or what's he trying to teach you here? And it's true. The way you take it, if you remove the people from the situation, you look and you go, okay, this is a conversation between me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you understand that in this moment right now, in like while we're alive in this world, this is a bridge and a testing ground for us for the next world. So when you put it into perspective, you're like, okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might be testing my ego here, because this guy's coming at me and giving me abuse. How do I react? That's my test. Or if somebody comes at you and goes, look, brother, look, you look like you're getting a little bit too arrogant these days. You're saying A, B, and C. Like, bro, for your sake, how do I take that? Did I take that as an attack? Or did I say, you know what? There might be some truth to what he's saying. How do I react to that? And then you look at it from the lens of like, okay, Allah, I see what you did there. Maybe that was a rahmah. That was a rahmah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes to you in the hereafter and tells you like, oh yeah, like you were heading down this path, and then this bloke came into your life and told you A, B, and C. Now you're going down this path instead.
Look, al-kalima at-tayyiba sadaqah. Even if you want to advise someone that they're doing wrong, there's rules and regulations of how you do things. Yani, subhanAllah, the basics, people want to preach at me, but they don't even know the basics. And if I wanted to, that man or lady or whoever it is, just go back to the example of that reel, wanted to advise me, whatever it was, you could have DM'd me privately, because the nasiha bil-anan is a fadiha. It's not you, then there's other intentions. If your intention as a Muslim brother or sister that wanted to give me advice, you can get my number, you can text me, you can DM me. That's in private. And say, you know, sister, wallahi, for the sake of Allah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and take it or leave it. That's separate. That I understand and I respect, and they get ajr for it. So when you want to give a nasiha in public that's criticizing, that's going to benefit no one, then what are your true intentions here?
Yep.
And the other point I want to make is, just because you, or let's say about myself, so people don't say I'm talking in general. Me being on social media, or me doing the field of work I'm doing, maybe not all of it is 100% halal. Yeah? Everything, again, in a grain of salt. But does that mean I get angry and start attacking the other person that has a different opinion or might tell me that? I already know. Don't be arrogant in your responses. Just because you do something, don't try and make it halal 110%. You know, accept that maybe you've got faults and you need to build up, inshallah, be better and better yourself. Without being so arrogant, and, you know, your ego starts to play. Because I see it a lot. You know, in any field, someone tells you what you're doing is not maybe 100%, but you want to try and convince them that, no, you're right, everyone's wrong. Why? How are you going to grow if you're always so defensive? Take it and move along and say, Ya Rab, inshallah, may Allah guide me, may I become better. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow. And it's a sloob, yeah. It's the way people tell you, whether you take it on board or not.
Yeah. There's hikmah. That's the main thing that we need to learn. There's a way of doing things. Like the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to the believers, well, they weren't believers at the time, if he revealed to the people of Quraysh, like hey, like this is all the rules and this is what you have to follow, this is the deen. Subhanallah, like they said it. Aisha radhiyallahu anha said, like no one would have followed. So you had to go through processes. You have to build the mahabba first. Yani you have to know that the person that's talking to you is coming from a place of what? They're coming from a place of either care or genuine genuity. There we go, that's the word.
Absolutely. And that's why, a lot of people, you see that maybe they weren't following the deen, they were really far, but then they tell you a pivotal moment was when someone really came and said 1, 2, 3, and I really thought about it, and that's what made me change. Even small baby steps to get to where I want to go. But we've lost that in the community. It's all attack. Yalla, everyone's an infidel. I even got told that on the from the real. I got people telling me I'm a kafra, I'm an infidel. I got words that you wouldn't describe. How is that going to benefit me or you? Is that the nasiha that you're coming up with? It's just, I think people, the keyboard warriors have just lost the plot.
We call them click farmers now.
What are they called?
They're click farmers.
Okay, I haven't heard that one before.
So
Click farmers.
Yeah, click farmers. They just basically, they want attention. Yani, what happens is, as soon as you, they have this need or this desire to get attention, and if you give them that attention, they retract what they say and they just say, "Oh, I just wanted you to see me." Basically,
But they're from burner accounts. There's no face to them.
they don't care. So what they fail to see is that there's a reality online and there's a reality in real life. Like, they still believe that the conversation that's being had between you and them is in real life. And they're not splitting reality from social media.
And you know what, wallahi, some comments even in general are just really comical. Like, I think one comment was, no one's going to ever marry you. La ilaha illallah. You didn't even check if I was married. Yani when you sit and write a comment in anything, please just fact check so you don't look stupid.
Wallah.
What marriage? You're never going to have kids. Yeah, I mean, my kids are older and I look at the profile, you're a little kid. My son's older than you. You need to go sleep.
Yeah.
Literally. And fact check so you look, respectable and people take you on board. But there's so many of them. We don't know how to agree to disagree.
No,
we can't do that.
100%. I reckon we'll switch up the topic because I feel like if we talk about human beings too much, we can go down a rabbit hole, and it won't be beneficial for anyone watching. They'll just be like, "Hey, this is a rant video."
Yeah. No, we're not trying to do that.
No, definitely not. Let's speak a little bit more about, because you were talking about being in rooms with certain people of influence and people who are successful. What does that do to you? Like, how does that make you feel? Does that motivate you? Does that demotivate you? Because we know that one big thing that I struggle with myself is imposter syndrome.
Yeah, I've got that.
You know? So
I think that's an ethnic inbuilt default system in all of us.
Allah.
At least in our community, I think it is. It does. It motivates me to an extent, and it makes me fearful to an extent at the same time. Because the motivation side is, wow, subhanAllah, as another woman that's had that type of success, inshallah, maybe one day I can, attain or reach, that type of success. But then I'm very fearfully of, I might stray. And there's a fine line between getting successful and holding on to your deen and not losing it. Because I know in myself, I'm going to be very honest, when I was much, much younger, I was far more religious. Far more. Does that mean I'm a bad person? No. It means I'm a human. It fluctuates. But when you're in rooms like that, and I said this before, money, ego, success, they're the biggest tests Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can test someone with. And if you are not aware of it subconsciously, you find yourself in a very big rabbit hole that sometimes you can't even get out of. So that's all. I'm trying to become like that, but also not forget who I am, and always remember there's an akhirah. Yeah, although sometimes I do forget, but then you get a wake up call and say, hang on, with deaths of family or deaths of people around us, then you really remember. Well, that's the truth, isn't it?
Yeah,
we're all gonna die one day. and it's a weight of bad deeds versus good deeds, and we always need to strive and have more good deeds. That's what it is. If I'm going to simplify it,
Yeah.
there's no one's ever 100% bad, and you can never ever be 100% good. That's something we cannot attain. There's a mixture of it, but that's what I think now, as I'm venturing more international. I'm trying to really try and balance things out.
Do you feel like, obviously I'm not going to say the deen is a hindrance, but I'm saying that, like, when I think about people that are the elites, when I think about the people who are at the top, who are the extremely successful, I think you think about Elon Musk, you think about Jeff Bezos, you think about all these people. I have a strong feeling, I'm not going to say I have certainty of it, but I have a strong feeling that they have to step on a lot of people to get to where they are.
Absolutely, you do.
So
I've seen it with my own eyes and heard it and been told with my own. I was told once, if you take off that, they didn't say scarf, I don't even know what the name of it is, that thing on your head, and wallahi lazim, and let go of some ethics, you can get places quicker and faster, and we'll help you. So I've been told that outright, not sugarcoated, just as I'm telling you exactly as it is. So absolutely, to get and stay, because getting there is probably not as hard as staying there. But if you want to stay where they put you and position you, there's a lot of ethics you need to let go of and put a blind eye and do things that are, I'm not conspiracy theorist, but there's, welcome to the real world, to reality. There's a lot of things you need to do to stay in those positions. No hate to all the names that you said, but I'm telling you, I would never want to be in those positions anyway.
yeah.
I don't want to even get there. I'm happy with what the dreams I have and where I want to go and my vision, and alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Don't even want to get there, because everything in life has a price.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to pay it. And you'll be delusional to think that you're going to get anywhere for free. Something's going to give.
That's true. Wallahi, there's a sacrifice. Yeah. If you want to be that successful, let's say, for example, you're doing it the moral way, yeah? If you're going to be that successful, you only have 24 hours in a day, whether you like it or not. And those 24 hours, you're going to have to neglect some other things that don't necessarily, you shouldn't. Actually, it's actually your responsibility to not be neglecting. So I want to ask you, how is it for you, just balancing that?
There is no
life?
balance. That's the truth. We need to stop with the, I've got 5 kids, or any lady that has a couple of kids and that wants to work, or even men that are parents that have kids themselves. Why is it just women? Any man or woman, any human that wants success or is after something is going to neglect something. There is no balance. This work-life balance crap that they're trying to feed us does not exist. It can't exist. You just put pressure on the other person to make them feel crap about themselves, that you've got it all together. Who says anyone's got it together? Wallahi, if I tell you now, I left my house in a state, and I told my husband, when the girls wake up, pack the house up, man. We're living like we're nomads, because I've been so busy. I haven't been able to get on top of everything. I don't have to. I can tell you, oh, wallahi, it's perfect. No. There's nothing perfect. Some things, as you said, needs to give. You just do the best that you can do, because if we don't work, if we don't make a living, and I've told this to my own kids, I can't buy you the things that you want. We're not able to get you everything you want. So you just have to be patient with me while I try and as much as I can, balancing. I've got a cleaner that comes. I've got 2 that comes once a week. So if we're talking about the house, at least she helps me there, but that's not enough, Kamen. Like, let's be realistic here. No one can have a clean house 24/7, food on the table, have 5 kids, be running businesses, doing podcasts and that, and have a perfect marriage and have all the money in the world and go to the Firdaus al-A'la all in one go. Subhanallah, yani, Wallahi al-Azim, be realistic. And be realistic in what you portray to other people, so you're not giving the wrong message out.
Yep.
I can't cook every day because I don't have time. I go to my mum's sometimes. Sometimes it's takeaway. I can't keep up with my house being spotless, clean, worthy of a magazine.
Yep.
No. My laundry looks at me every day. It's sitting in the basket. I told him tomorrow I'll do it. Like, wallahi, I can't.
Yeah.
It's It's not feasible. I try my best, but we're all imperfectly perfect human beings. We're trying.
Definitely. There's a phenomenon online. They called it toxic productivity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there were all these guys online that were saying, listen, we've got these roadmaps in order for you to be able to do A, B, and C, and you'll get there. And look at me, I'm a doctor, and I do full-time YouTube, and I do this, and I do that. And then I can also manage my day-to-day. It's just like, bro, like, you have to be a robot to be able to do all that stuff. It's not possible. Like, and sometimes you think to yourself, like, I write a to-do list for my day. You know, I'm pretty busy. I'm a pretty busy guy, alhamdulillah, yeah? But when I write a to-do list, like, I look at the to-do list and I'm like, I'm not going to do all this. Like, it's not possible. Like, and I'm like, okay, if I don't, tomorrow I carry on to the next day. You know? But the problem is, where's my priorities?
That's it.
You know? And then I look at my list and I'm like, well, my priority, or the thing that should be my priority, isn't even on the to-do list. Yani, how do you factor in your own life deen and that sort of stuff? Because quite obviously it might need to be something that has to be brought into your day through other means. Like, for example, I spoke to Yasser Qadi when he was here last year, and he spoke to us about everything in life being ibadah, you know? Going to work, earning a living, you know, driving to work, you can do your azkar, do this, do that when you have the opportunities to. And I wanted to see if you have a tactic to kind of like...
I think it's setting the intention, which we forget to do. Even I forget to do most of the times. If I'm going to be very honest with you, other than my prayers, which sometimes are even late, which is really bad. Again, going back to, you have to really sit and reflect. And I'm now trying to prioritize that because I haven't been. I don't want to give you all the life is roses and posies. This is the truth. Other than the daily prayers, you don't get a jahannam if you don't do them. I haven't had the time to do anything. Not because I haven't prioritized the time. There's no such thing that I don't have time. And I was thinking the last couple of days, you know, I can put time if I wanted to. I can get up for Fajr and then put 20 minutes and read a few Safhat Quran. That's if I'll be lying if I say I can't. Yes, I can, because when I have a meeting, I get up. I can get up. I put my timer on when I've got a podcast at 2 a.m. When I've got a meeting at 1 and 2, I can get up, yani. And if I really wanted to, I would. Again, it's the nafs, it's the shaitan. It's not prioritizing what we should prioritize in life. But we can. But for me, I haven't done it because I've been caught up in this world and forgotten that, you know what, maybe our priorities are not that. And sometimes it takes a big musibah in your life to realize, hang on, maybe let's reshuffle our cards. And inshallah, we reshuffle the cards before we're hit with the bala that, you know, Allah gives us sometimes to remind us.
Yep.
So that's it in that part. But you also don't want to be procrastinating and doing nothing. Like, a lot of people ask me, but how do you do everything? Because I really want to do it. I stand, you know, when I have a meeting at 1, I wait till it's 1 o'clock and do that meeting or do that podcast or whatever it is, because I really want to do it. If you want something in life, you need to work for it. Come in.
100%.
Yes, you don't have to, you know, worship the to-do list. If it's, you know, unless you're going to die, it needs to be done today. But come in, you can't look at your to-do list every day and not do anything.
Yeah.
And just sit on your bottom and watch Netflix 24/7 scrolling by or whatever on your phone.
Yeah.
Come in, that's not a life. The balance is try to do as much as you physically can, and that's it.
I think one thing that people don't understand is there's the phenomena in America. I think it's in the Constitution. I remember listening to this I think it was a quote from The Sopranos. He goes, America is the only place in the world where in the Constitution the pursuit of happiness is guaranteed for everyone. I believe that in itself tells you everything you need to know about the American dream, which is the world that we're living in now, subhanAllah, and pushing us towards materialism and how success is like predicated by pop culture, which is like money, women, or men if you're a woman, you know, like lifestyle, fame, all that kind of stuff, subhanAllah. And I think one thing that's like a reality check for me, at least when I've been going through as I'm getting older, is that there's actually no station to sit and rest. No. It doesn't exist.
And happiness is moments. I think 2 days ago, me and my sister were talking about this, that this world, you weren't created, we've all been taught a lie. I've just recently discovered actually this for myself when I'm reflecting on myself. I've always been chasing happiness, but it actually doesn't exist. You cannot be happy 24/7. It's something that Allah didn't create in this world 24/7. There are happy moments. Maybe that's when you're having lunch with your family. Maybe you bought something that you wanted. Maybe it's just an interaction. They're moments. But 24/7 happiness, then you've got something wrong with you. The world it's not that.
Yeah.
There's different emotions in the world that you're going to have to experience. We can aim for, obviously, to get to happy moments, but happy life in general, no, it doesn't exist.
You're right. It's not a destination.
No.
It's something
just
along
moments.
the way. Yeah,
Along the moment.
100%.
Like sadness, whatever it is, nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
Bad times don't last and good times don't last. It's just riding out the wave and understanding there's another stage that's coming.
That's a very good point, subhanAllah. I feel like towards the end of each podcast, we always give the guest like a moment to say what they feel is important for everyone to take away, not only from this podcast specifically what we've spoken about, but in life in general. So I'm going to hand the microphone over to you now, inshallah.
Oh, I don't want to become a philosopher in life. I'm still learning. You know, I've got a long way before I can give advice to anyone. But if something that I've learned from my own life is take everything with a grain of salt. Don't put people on pedestals. Don't worship people. Don't become idol worshippers. Take what benefits you from each person that you interact with or watch online or in life, and leave what doesn't benefit you. Because no one is 100% perfect, and you're not going to be 100% perfect. So let's try and accept each other for the faults that we have.
That's, I reckon, a perfect way to wrap up the podcast. So Mariam, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
I'm
having
going to
me.
put all of your links, inshallah, in the description, and we'll obviously collaborate on all the posts. But Wallah, I really appreciate you taking your time to come on.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you for having me. Wallah, it means a lot. Inshallah, we benefit even one person
Inshallah.
hearing us.
Allahumma ameen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the podcast, and we'll see you in the next video.